Every train ride has a story. Some tell of the majestic beauty of nature, others are haunted by harshness and danger. And today, we will step onto the world's most extreme railways. Subscribe to the channel to not miss interesting videos. The journey begins in the Andes, where the Ferrocarril Central Andino Railway rises nearly 4,800 meters above sea level. To overcome the rugged terrain, the route was carved through mountains, spanning 58 bridges and passing through 69 tunnels. In particular, the 77-meter-high Verrugas Bridge collapsed twice in the 19th century, making every trip here a gamble with history. If you thought those sections were challenging enough, just wait until the train shakes on the Georgetown Loop, once considered one of America's most spectacular 19th-century engineering marvels. Only 7 kilometers long, the Georgetown Loop in the Rocky Mountains is a test of nerves. The train had to crawl over a 30-meter high curved bridge called Devil's Gate, where if one missed a step, the consequences could be unpredictable. In winter, this place is covered in a blanket of white snow, turning the ancient train into a journey through a spectacular and cold fairy tale landscape. From the snowy mountains of Colorado, we continue our journey to Asia with India's legendary Kalka, Shimla toy train. Built in 1903, this toy train line climbs from 650 meters to more than 2,000 meters in just 96 kilometers. To do that, the railway must cross 102 tunnels, 864 bridges, and nearly 1,000 sharp curves. In particular, bridge number 541 is 23 meters high and built with multi-layered stone arches, both beautiful and dangerous. From the breathtaking curves of Shimla, the train takes us deep into southwest India, where the Western Ghats Railway winds between dense forests and majestic waterfalls.
The Western Ghats Railway, located in India, is a marvel of engineering.
This nearly 310 kilometers long route connects Hassan to Mangalore, passing the majestic Dudhsagar Falls and dozens of streams. But in the rainy season, heavy rains can easily cause landslides and floods, paralyzing the road for months. The scenery is dreamy, but danger always lurks. Before you board the Bergen Line Norway, hit the like button to continue this amazing journey. The 500 kilometers long Bergen Railway, connecting Oslo to Bergen, is picturesque in summer but a nightmare in winter. Snow was more than 1.5 meters thick, there were continuous snowstorms, and even an avalanche in 2020 destroyed the railway protection structure. The ships had to install giant snow blades to cut through the storm and move forward. From Bergen Line, the journey continues to Manakara Airport Railway, Madagascar, and the spectacular railway in New Zealand. There are places where the railway and the runway intersect. In Madagascar and New Zealand, planes must stop and wait for ships to pass before taking off. Even a small timing error can lead to tragedy, a testament to the breathtaking tension of coordination engineering. From Madagascar and New Zealand, the journey takes us to a futuristic vision with the underwater bullet train, a daring project connecting the UAE and India. A bold idea, a high-speed train running under the sea, connecting Fujairah, UAE with Mumbai, India. The underwater vacuum tunnel will take the train 1,100 kilometers in just 2 hours. But if one day the system fails, being stuck in the middle of the deep sea in a vacuum tube will be the most haunting scenario that humans can imagine. From the daring underwater project, we return to South America to conquer Tren a Las Nubes, Argentina, a train line that soars above the clouds between the majestic Andes. Train to the Sky takes visitors to an altitude of nearly 4,200 meters, crossing 29 bridges, 21 tunnels, and 2 spiral sections. The highlight is the 4-meter-high La Polvoria Viaduct, where the entire train seems to hang in the air, literally a train running on the clouds. After crossing the Andes, the journey takes us to Europe to explore the Pilatus Railway, Switzerland, the steepest railway line in the world. The Pilatus line is famous for being the steepest cog railway in the world, with a gradient of up to 48%. Less than 5 kilometers long, but the elevation gain is more than 1,600 meters. The train cars are specially designed, so they don't tip over when climbing. An engineering marvel, but also an experience that leaves passengers breathless every meter. Continuing the journey, we come to Biswa Ijtema Trains, Bangladesh, a symbol of trains crowded with pilgrims. During a major religious festival, millions of people flock to the town of Tongi, turning trains into crowded trams. People climbed on the roof, held onto the sides, and even sat right in front of the train. Every journey is a game of life and death, where the line between trust and danger becomes fragile. From Bangladesh, we come to the Death Railway, Thailand's haunted death railway. Also known as the Death Railway, it was built in 1942 under Japanese rule. More than 250,000 prisoners and laborers were forced to work under brutal conditions, and 100,000 died. The line still operates today, but each train ride is a reminder of historical pain. Leaving Thailand, the journey continues to Myanmar with Gotek Viaduct, an iron bridge spanning a deep and spectacular valley. Gotek Viaduct is 102 meters high and more than 680 meters long, spanning a deep canyon. As the train slowly crawled past, passengers could feel every creak of steel and every gust of wind ruffling their hair. It took 25 minutes for the train to pass, leaving everyone with a terrifying yet magnificent experience. And finally, the journey takes us to Semmering Railway, Austria, the famous European Heritage Railway. Built from 1879–1881 under British rule, and in 1999 recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. runs 88 kilometers from New Jalpaiguri, NJP, to Darjeeling, passing through tea gardens, ancient villages, and majestic landscapes of the Himalayan foothills. The line has a design zigzag inversion and unique loops to climb, notably Batasia Loop near Darjeeling. The highlight of the route is Batasia Loop with majestic Himalayan views and Gum Station 2,257 meters high, the highest station in India. A famous tourist railway in Queensland, Australia, connecting Cairns with the town of Kuranda and running through the Barron Gorge rainforest. The train passes through Barron Gorge National Park, where Barron Falls foams white among majestic mountains and forests. The scenery of primeval forests, towering mountains, and roaring waterfalls leaves passengers both captivated and breathless with excitement. Every twist and turn is steeped in history, where wild nature and man-made structures blend magically. Leaving Australia, the journey continues to the United States, where the Georgetown Loop Railway crosses precarious steel bridges between the Colorado Mountains. This section of the railway runs near sea level, famous for the Pamban Bridge. The nearly 2 kilometers long bridge connects mainland India with Rameswaram Island in the middle of the vast ocean. Every time the train passed, the fierce waves threw up foam up to the train windows. Dangerous as it may be, this is still a unique experience in the middle of the ocean. Leaving the turbulent India, the journey takes us to America, where the Georgetown Loop Railroad is famous for its curved steel bridge spanning a deep gorge. Amidst the majestic Rocky Mountains, a 19th century railway masterpiece emerges. Devil's Gate High Bridge is over 30 meters high, suspended in the middle of a deep abyss. As the iron wheels slowly grinded across the bridge, all eyes seemed to hold their breath before the challenge of gravity. This is not just a train ride, but a breathtaking adventure into the past. If the Georgetown Loop makes your heart skip a beat, the Serra Verde Express fascinates you with its vast green expanse. The Serra Verde Express is Brazil's most famous tourist train line, connecting the city of Curitiba with the town of Moretes, running through the Serra do Mar mountain range. The 68.4-mile railway, built in the 19th century and completed in 1885, is considered one of the most impressive structures in South America. The train travels through the Brazilian rainforest, gliding past waterfalls, canyons, valleys, and breathtaking cliff-edge sections. The Serra Verde Express impresses with 13 tunnels and nearly 30 bridges, including the 110-meter-long São João Bridge spanning a dangerous abyss. The Serra Verde Express offers a 3-4-hour ride that is both breathtakingly scenic and thrillingly adventurous in nature. From tropical Brazil, we head to the eastern United States, where the Cass Scenic Railroad takes passengers back in time on a vintage mountain train. Cass Scenic Railroad in West Virginia, USA, is famous for its antique steam trains that take visitors back to the early 20th century. The 11.2-mile railway, built in 1901 for logging, is now a tourist heritage site reminiscent of the steam train era. The train winds through the Appalachian Mountains, revealing valleys, clear streams, and stunning autumn colors. Each trip is a journey back in time, where the train whistle echoes through the mountains and forests, bringing a feeling of both nostalgia and majesty. Continuing the journey, Ofotbanen takes us through the snow and ice of northern Europe. It is the northernmost railway line in Europe, connecting the port of Narvik, Norway, with the city of Kiruna, Sweden. Originally built in the early 20th century to transport iron ore from the Kiruna mines to the sea, it is now a popular tourist route. The train passes through snow-capped mountains, glacial lakes, and spectacular fjords. Especially in winter, when the landscape is bathed in magical northern lights. Do you think this ship can survive such a harsh journey? Leave a comment below. The Gulflander Railroad was established in the late 19th century, originally carrying freight and mail between Gulf Savannah towns. Today, the train slowly makes its way from Normanton to Croydon, passing through arid lands, marshes, and flooded grasslands, where the wildlife remains untouched. More than just a trip, Gulflander is also a journey to discover Australia's pioneering history in the windy Wild West.
It's called Emma, that rail motor, but it's got a diesel engine in it.